Time now is 7 p.m. for Tuesday, June 18th, 2024. I'm going to call to order the Wayne Township Board of Trustees meeting for this evening. May I get a roll call, please?
Absolutely. Ms. Colvin?
Here.
Mr. Patrick?
Here.
Mr. Jacobs?
Here.
You have it for.
Pledge allegiance, please rise. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. So do we have approval of the minutes of the previous meeting on June 11th?
So moved.
I'll second.
Okay, all in favor of approving the June 2nd meeting minutes?
Aye.
June
Aye.
11th.
Very good.
Yeah.
Motion carried.
So do we have any additions, removals, or disclosures from the posted agenda?
I have none.
The only thing I see is we're gonna move the site plan review up a little bit to after citizens' comments.
Yes, and also fiscal officer would like to review resolution 2024-61 that was introduced and no action was taken.
Dash 61, right? Okay, thank you. Okay. So this portion, we'll see if there's any citizens' comments out there. I'm thinking that is none. So we'll move on to the next section. So we'll go ahead and do the site plan review for Perky Landscaping. So if you guys want to come up and give us a little bit of detail, you could please.
I do have one citizen comment, it's hot out.
Yeah.
It is.
We can't do anything about that, I'm sorry.
But it's Ohio, would it change, right?
Is it
Yeah.
never
That's right.
changed?
You just gotta wait 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Do you want any sort of introduction or let them go?
Yeah, if you guys give your name, your address would be perfect for the record.
Yeah, that's where we live.
Yeah, that'd be
Okay,
fine.
my name's Perry Perky, I'm the owner of Perky Landscaping Company, I live at 1492 Jeffrey Road, Margonia.
I'm Brian Phillips. I live at 4090 East State Route 73, Winslow, Ohio.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All you guys.
Okay, so we're not really here in front of the committee or the trustees to change anything, we're just asking for a clarification on something that was voted on our site plan back on March 7th, 2023.
Okay.
When there was a pretty lengthy discussion about buffer trees A and B on the property that we were rezoning to B3, which Brian owns, and his residence is on the west side.
Yes.
So what my understanding of it was, when the discussion about the buffers and the trees and everything, then Ms. Colvin made a comment to have it removed from the recommendations. My understanding was, after looking at the site plan and looking at the aerial view and the discussion between you guys, the trustees, that when that comment was made, there would be no buffers required anywhere on the property, because there's existing buffers pretty much everywhere. So that's my, not really a question, it's a clarification. That is my understanding of that correct?
So can I just speak about
Go ahead,
the
that's
plan a
perfect.
little bit?
Yeah.
So the site plan is presented by the applicant, and he showed a buffer, can you see on your screen, Drew? On that western boundary that was drawn as is required by our zoning. Okay, now on the other parts of the property on the eastern boundary, alongside those other barns and the other business, I had asked in my staff report that they would apply the buffer zone to that area as well as to the part of the rear of the property as well. So that came through in my staff report, that recommendation. It was not shown on the plan at any point. When you guys had the meeting, you discussed how, you wouldn't want the buffer next to those barns. They already blocked the view, and there would be leaves and such on the barns. And that to the rear, there was also a tree line on the other person's property to the rear. And so if you look at the resolution, and I've listened to the audio several times to make sure that, I remembered it correctly. And you did take that off of the resolution. We edited it that night when we were there, took off the northern and the eastern boundaries. But I don't mention the other boundary because it's on the site plan. So if literally, if we had to put every item that's on a site plan in the resolution, we just don't address it that way. And that way, kind of like another point to that would be is like, in the resolution, it doesn't say to strike the parking lot, because it's shown on the site plan, that's a required element of the site plan. So, there was one mention in the original staff report about the size of the trees, I think it was, on the western boundary. I can pull that up if you want, but your,
I think they were supposed to be 6 feet, I think that's.
yeah, that's the, but you know, but we took, there was one sentence about them, and we took that sentence out about the size when we deleted all the other stuff. But the plan shows the, shows them, and so that's part of the approval is the site plan that's submitted by the applicant unless the trustees take something off. Like if you'd said, like you did, you didn't take the, you know, those little recommendations, and so those came off. This isn't mentioned for that reason, because it's part of the plan that's submitted.
So so you live to the east, right?
Yeah,
You live on the-
west, yeah,
Oh,
so
west,
like,
okay.
if you pull that back up a little bit,
Yeah.
yeah, it's, you see the office,
Yeah.
then there's like a tree line right there. There's like probably between the tree line and the office side door, what, there's 20 feet,
I'm
30
gonna
feet?
get an aerial, can you tell me the house number?
There's probably 40, 90. So, and then on the other side of the tree line would be my property, and then I have a garage and the house sits there, so. When we were doing that, I mean, this is just my regulation of it all. I know the Mallorys said that they didn't want it there, on their side, which would be the east side, because
Right, I did
of the
remember.
leaves, and it would just be,
Yeah.
I didn't want it there either, and I'm glad they were in agreement, and I figured they would be. You can see where I'm talking about right there between his barns and then my barn, there's just not a lot of room there either, so we worked that out, and then the back of my property is all woods, and then there's a tree line on the right side, and we worked that out, and then I said that I've already got a tree line between the house and the buildings, plus it's my house, so I don't require, you know, it's already private as it is, but I thought we'd worked that out, I guess we didn't, so this is what Perry's telling me, that's why I'm here tonight. But even if we wanted to put trees there, we couldn't do it. There's a power box that sits, you can see that first tree right there where the end of the shadow is of the office building. Yeah, there's a power box right there, where that first big tree is, you can see the first big maple. There's a power box that sits just past that, underneath there. I've got wires, lines all through there. Then on the back side of that barn, you can see where the leach field is for the building. You can see the two tops. There's a leach field there. I don't want to plant trees there. They're gonna, even on the side, if I planted trees, it's bad enough I already got trees over there. Those roots are gonna go straight from my.
So basically, you just don't want the trees.
I don't need them.
Okay.
Yeah, not only do I not want them, because I've got so many trees there as it is, I don't need them. There's just no room. And even if I did want them, I don't even know if I could plant them there because of what I just said, the power lines, the septic in the back. There's, like I said, between that tree line and the side door of that office building, it's probably from here to that door maybe, if that. And I've already, that maple, there's not leaves on it right now, but that maple is huge. It actually blooms over where that shadow line is of the building. It stretches almost all the way to it.
Yeah, I remember the conversation, and then, you know, being aware that that's your property.
Yes, sir.
Now, do you still own this property as well, or is that your property?
Yeah, that's what he rents from me, yeah.
Yeah.
That's all, those two parcels are all mine.
So they're both your properties?
Yes.
There are already trees there?
Yes, sir. And like I
The
said,
trees are on the residential side. I just want all the facts, so that, you know,
Yeah.
they're on the one side, so they're actually not being provided by the business side of the law.
Yeah.
If somebody could have all the right in the world to, I can't mandate that the trees be on the residential side, just telling you how.
Yeah.
So he could cut them all down and then there would be, I'm not saying he would, but I'm just saying that that's how the zoning
Yeah.
looks at it, is two separate entities, because they can be sold independently.
Well,
So
well,
I understand, that there is a tree line, but
so
maybe
like,
there's some kind of compromise.
all things considered, I remember, all those conversations, and I don't remember exactly how we wound up. But I remember it was pretty much like, hey,
Yeah.
we don't really need all these things.
Yeah.
And, as I look at this, I think the spirit of zoning is, the shielding,
Or
the
business.
buffering.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think government's job is to protect people from themselves. And considering that you own both of these properties, and considering that, I don't know who owns this property here.
That's,
Ice, is that?
no,
Which
it
one?
used to be the Brewers, but, it's,
Which one?
That was
Starts with a
the
B, I-
more last one, the pretty wooded one.
Valentine.
Further west,
Is it
Of
Valentine?
this.
Yeah, and so that's it,
Sort of.
Valentina.
Yeah,
okay,
Valentina,
yeah,
I knew
okay.
it was Valentina.
Okay, so, and that's heavily wooded.
Oh, yeah, you can't even see his house, even even when the leaves are off of it, he sits down in a valley down in there, way down in there.
So if you were to decide to go through and to chop down all of your trees on your property, then you would no longer be buffering against yourself on your other property. And if you chose to then sell it to somebody else, they would find that to be an acceptable setup, where they plant new trees if they wanted them.
Yeah, you're right.
If the,
Well, you be asking him that, because if I ever sell it, this is the man that's gonna purchase
yeah,
it from me.
yeah, and if the other parcel were to sell, businesses certainly can shield themselves or can buffer themselves against residential, but I wouldn't expect that. So just trying to play out all of the scenarios in my mind, I don't see a need to comply with the site plan that was presented with the tree line if that is becoming a point of contention. That's just where I am.
I agree too, it just doesn't seem, especially with all the, utilities in there, it just doesn't make sense. We don't wanna ruin utilities just to get some trees in there because our code said you're supposed to have trees in there.
Well, another thing too is, those trees are beautiful, and if you plant more trees, then you're gonna kill my other
Yeah.
trees. Cause they're huge, that maple it's a monster, yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Josh too. I mean, same thing. I don't want the contention there to be able to go, but yes, I definitely understand what you guys are talking about.
Yeah, you're a landscaping business, if you wanna put trees in there eventually or do something, I'm sure you'll do it, you know?
We did go out there and count them, so if you go from that first maple, there's 7 large maples there over 40 foot with over a 40-foot canopy already. And there's rows of Sharon in between those 8 to 10 to 12 foot, there's 30 of those in there.
Okay.
Down through there, which you can't really see because the
Yeah.
leaves aren't on them. So it's buffered really, really heavily already down through there, between Brian's house and there.
Yeah,
And again.
And just to let you know,
Future.
I'm all about being honest. I just cut some dead bushes out from underneath there, cause those maples got huge, and they killed them. So he's gonna plant in the fall, where I took that out, it's gonna be even more buffered, because I'm putting,
5 foot burning bush.
yeah, burning bushes from that first maple all the way down, it's far. So, I mean, I'm gonna buffer it even more, because I just took some stuff out that was been there for years, and I guess they just timed out, but.
I think spiritually, this follows it's the spirit of captures the spirit of, the intention, knowing the potential futures of either property. I mean, if somebody does buy the property from you, then they're understanding they're moving in next door to a
Absolutely.
commercial property, and what's there is there.
Yeah.
But me and him's already discussed a long-term deal, so when he sells it, we're buying both pieces of property, so he's just.
He'll be the
He's
future
probably the
owner,
one.
so.
But, so it wouldn't be a conflict down the road.
And but another point that you're making to that, just to ease your mind if I need to, I would never sell that business until I sold my house. That's stupid. I'd be, you know what I'm saying? So I'd sell the house before I'd even touch that business for that reason, so.
That's a pretty recent satellite view too, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it's real
that's your
recent.
stuff, yeah, that's
Yeah,
your
that
stuff.
is actually,
They redid them all recently.
Yeah, did they?
that's real recent.
Yeah.
I think in December, most of them were.
Yeah, I think so too.
So, I mean, if,
Okay.
I would just ask that you let me prepare a resolution for the next meeting, and you
Okay.
can just pass with the language in it that you want.
That's
If
fine.
that- If that's your intention.
Yep.
We appreciate
Yes,
it.
it is.
Yeah,
Yeah, no problem.
All right.
Yeah,
Thanks
thanks
for
you
your
guys for
time.
coming here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Appreciate your guys'
Yeah,
time
no
too.
worries. Yeah, we just wanna make sure everything's cool, everything's right, so we appreciate you guys very, very much.
Yeah,
We do, thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
for your time.
Thank you.
I
Appreciate
can
it.
wait.
That's all
You
right.
guys have a good evening.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
God bless you all.
You guys. Good. Okay, next on the agenda, we're gonna go to department head reports. Mr. Camry, you're
Good
up.
evening.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Well, I had a very enjoyable vacation last week, although it kind of, things got a little hairy-carry the week before, but all is well. The road department is intact and is operational. Kurt is back from his medical leave, doing well, albeit a little slow, but he's getting along pretty good on his new knee,
Good.
his new titanium knee. We're, just a quick update, I mean, from my last report from the meeting on the 11th that I submitted, not a whole lot of new update on that, other than we're a little better than halfway through on the second round of mowing. So we've kind of been hunting and pecking on that second round, but we're making progress. Tomorrow, which is Juneteenth, which is a holiday. I cleared it with Mr. Edwards, and the road department voted that we wish to move our holiday to Friday
Okay, good.
Yeah,
instead of right smack dab in the middle of the week.
yeah.
So we will be working tomorrow. And with that said, tomorrow is tree day.
Is it?
So
Is it hot
who's
enough?
off tomorrow for
Is it
Juneteenth?
hot enough for you?
Well, I don't have any control of the weather. I will say, instead of chipping it, I am gonna load it and haul it down to the shop. I'm not gonna try to chip it, because that's just crazy, but I will need help if any one of the board is available to assist, drag and brush to where we can get it with the backhoe. You don't have to throw it on the truck, we just gotta get it to where the
What time you
backhoe can
start
get it
that?
early, when it's cool.
I've got training in the Marine Park.
Well,
That's the only bad thing I have.
we're not, you know, as hot as it is, I'm not gonna push, you know, like we're running a marathon or a road march or anything like that. We're just gonna take our time and you know, and we'll be sweating, but, you know, that goes along with it. But at any rate, that's gonna happen tomorrow.
Okay.
I can't guarantee it'll be finished tomorrow. We'll finish on Thursday, whatever we don't get done tomorrow. So if anyone is available, you have some time, you come up and help us drag brush, much appreciated. We had a minor problem with one of the mowing tractors today. It sprung a hydraulic oil leak, but finally tracked it down and it is repaired. So all of the road department equipment is available and ready for use if needed and where needed. And that is all I have.
Great. Anybody else have any questions or anything?
I met Nick, he seems like a good guy. so-
Nick is a very good guy, he's doing very well, he's a quick learner, willing to learn. So far, so good. So with him, that's mine, I mean, he's a school teacher, so he's working through the summer for us, you know, to help me out, buy me some time so I can try to hunt. We can, you know, advertise for that fourth person, you know, before snow season,
Yes.
so.
Good. Thanks, sir.
You're
Yeah,
very
thank you.
welcome.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
We had moved, we got to, at my job, we voted to move our holiday Juneteenth to July 5th.
Oh, okay.
This is good.
There's a lot of folks are doing it,
For the
yeah.
4-day weekend.
So we, yeah, so I have to.
No, that's fine.
So that's London.
Are you?
I'm in every day.
Yeah. I'm in every day.
I'm off every day, so.
That's awesome. I'll get
So
that
I will
Sunday.
see
I'll
you
get
tomorrow,
that.
Mrs. Baldwin. You just
I know how to sweat, believe me.
volunteered.
I'm getting a load of hay delivered too, so I'm just like, ooh, which would I rather do? Put hay up in my barn or drag a brush? Let me see.
Well, the good thing about it is up here on this kind of this knoll, there's usually a breeze.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
We'll get the hoses out and spray each other.
There you go.
Too.
there you go.
All right, thanks, Scott.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Next up, fire department report, Chief Beckett. How you doing, sir?
Good, how are you?
Good.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
I was not aware that I could move holidays around, so I'll have a discussion with Gus first thing tomorrow morning.
You're the newbie, you don't know these things.
And it's been on holiday. So I got to attend my first Sauerkraut Festival planning meeting on Thursday night.
That's good.
There's pretty much a meet and greet. That's gonna be a fun event. So it went pretty well. So I had good conversation and just some ideas with them. Also, the hill climb is also the same weekend.
Correct.
So,
Along with the Renaissance Festival.
Yeah.
And the Fall Festival.
and the Oath Keepers Fire Conference at the Warren County
Oh.
Career Center, so.
Good night.
It's gonna be a busy weekend
You're cloned.
around here. So that went well, and in conjunction with that, there's a class that I signed up for June 25th and 26th through the EMA, Special Event Enhanced Risk Management. It's an 8-hour class, no cost. So those 2 days, I'll be down in Lebanon taking that class. It just kind of gives us an edge up, and helps plan and be able to, get a better overall management plan. So, then after that meeting, I went to the Warren County Career Center after they, they do spring, summer, fall, and winter sessions and classes, and once those adult ed classes get through, that they do a graduation for those people, that passed, and since I do teach, I try to make it a point to go and attend those graduations. And 2 of our people, we're graduating, Brian Arnold for his firefighter level 1, and Hannah Wolfenbarger for her EMT. She's getting ready to take her EMT national registry here in the next couple of weeks, so. Another new member, Elena Benton, passed her national registry, so she is, well on her way. We had a river rescue on Thursday night, reported river rescue that went okay. The dispatch, dispatched a lot of things that weren't quite accurate, but once we got there, got a handle on it, we were able to, the sheriff's office actually located the guy just north of the covered bridge. The only reason the deputy saw him is because the guy had put his paddle up for some reason. The deputy saw him and went over and found him, and so successful. And with that, about the dispatch center, Chief Lalich and I went down to the telecom today and the dispatch center and had our new chief orientation. And it just goes over all the functions that telecom does and the benefits and things they offer. And then we got to go into dispatch and see, the faces behind the voices. And they also kind of extended for our local leaders. If do you guys know anything about telecom? What they do, they are willing to come out and give a presentation and just give you an idea of everything that telecom does, which is pretty much everything. So if you're interested in that, I'd be more than happy to have them come down, and it's pretty interesting, some of the stuff they do.
I'm always interested.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
Okay.
Do something new and see what somebody else does, and I compare to what we do at work
Yeah.
too. Yeah.
I've got a few quotes for dumpsters for the cleanup of cleaning out Station 92. And unfortunately, all of our fire department equipment is not in service. The rescue truck we're waiting on, we had some batteries start cooking off the other day. Went to raise the cab, and the cab pump is out. So we're getting to raise a hydraulic pump to raise the cab up to get to where the batteries are and to fix the electrical short that's going on with it. So that should be done this week. And then the Chief's Tahoe air conditioning went out. It had been going out earlier this year, and I took it to Scott, and he recharged it and looked at it and couldn't find any leaks. Well, the leak is in the rear air conditioning and those lines back there. So that's a Pulte getting fixed, and we should have it back tomorrow or the next day. So I think that's all.
Just a tag on the rescue, I believe when Tanner called that in to me, he's going to use part of our $10,000 second portion of it that we got with the new Seagraves
Oh,
for
yeah.
the
Oh,
Yeah,
purchasing. So-
good,
yeah.
awesome.
So there won't be any funds coming out, Scott.
That's good news.
I know, I'm smiling.
That's good.
I talked to you, Tanner, I was giggling, I said, yes.
Yeah, so if they need that certificate, because they sent me a new updated certificate, so I have that on file.
Okay.
Good.
Maybe I'll send that over to you guys since you got it.
And then we've got the LEXIPOL resolution, and we'll be good, and then we'll talk about levy stuff a little later.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Sounds good. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it, Chief. All right, next up, we're going to zoning department report. Ms. Lumley, how are you doing this evening?
Good.
Good.
Well, my report's mostly taken care of right now.
Yeah.
Except for, of course, we have the public hearing tonight in a few minutes for zoning commission member to discuss that. I just want to, I made sure that she did receive her registered letter, a tractor receipt, tracking number, so I'm sure that, want to be sure she received notice of that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
Stacy, we're still on for the second,
Yes.
for the zoning
What's that?
hearing?
Let's go.
At what, 6 you doing that?
Oh, yeah.
We're doing
Yeah,
it at 6, yeah.
have we worked out location?
Yeah, I would like to, could we,
We did last meeting.
I'm sorry,
You guys are
You
gonna
guys are
be in
here.
here, and then we're gonna be, board's gonna be in the public.
my apologies.
You've been here, you would have heard that.
I know, right? What can I say? I was off gallivanting in our nation's capital. My apologies.
Good. Any more questions? Ms. Lumley?
Not for me.
Good. Thank you. Great. Well, Gus, I think you have about 2 minutes to go through your report. No, I'm just teasing.
Probably, the only thing of significance in it is July 12th, Wilmahami River Leadership Float. We do have to sign up for that, so anybody that wants to go on that, they start on it in the morning, put in at Foltz Park, basically go down to the covered bridge and then come back to Foltz Park for a presentation. So I don't know, Chief, if any of you would like to,
Yeah,
they'll either have canoes or kayaks, so you get your choice.
I would like to do, because I've never been on that part of the river, and I was talking about it the other night during the river, like I'd like to get on the river and see it. So yeah, I'll follow up with you tomorrow.
Okay. Did you go on that? Yeah, you went
I
on
went last year, yeah, it's good.
that. Yeah.
I just came to lunch.
Yeah, you did.
On the backside. Oh, for heaven's sakes. Just what time do we have?
I'm just teasing.
Okay, so we're on.
Are we getting together for the parade? We talked about that last time. Are we gonna do?
Supposed to, I'm sorry to ask Gus.
Scott, when you were last week at the meeting, Andy and Diane said they might be interested in driving something in the parade.
Yeah.
Okay,
Maybe our new tractor will be in, maybe it won't.
right.
Maybe we can have a tractor cleaned up or something cleaned up.
I can make that
We
happen.
can drive tractors, yeah.
I can even have, now that I have license plates for the new truck, I can, if one of you would like to, I can put the plow on the truck and you can drive that through.
Get the deuce and a half out.
A deuce and, no, it's not a deuce and a half.
whatever you have.
Okay,
Yeah.
I will,
And if you wanna join us, you're able to join us.
I will, I actually kind of had planned on driving my Impala.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so
We got magnetic stickers for road department.
I was planning on that as
Yeah.
well. I was gonna put Wayne Township Road Department stickers on my 63 Impala. So we'll get it worked out.
All right. Awesome.
We've got a week,
Yeah.
so no problem.
That's all I have.
Well, great, that's perfect. Well, now we are at 7:30, and the time right now is 7:30, so we'll go into our public hearing for Mary Fromling, and we'll turn it over to Stacy.
All right, the zoning commission, we've had a history of being a number of years where Mary Fromling has not been participating in the hearings. She also had changed her email address. I found out I had no way to really contact her that way. And so at the beginning, on May 2nd, I'll read what the charges were that the zoning commission made a motion about and forwarded on to the trustees. Charges are that Ms. Fromling has not performed her duties, has not attended for 4 years, has stopped communicating with staff, changed her email without providing a new email address, and is out of the loop and lacking connectivity to the zoning commission. And so those were the formal charges that were brought on against her. In section 519 of the revised code, it says that members of the zoning commission shall be removable for non-performance of duty, and that lists after written charges have been filed and a public hearing has been held, and that the charges be served upon the member at least 10 days before the hearing. So she received her certified letter from us with that information in time to meet that. So the trustees are able then to, discuss that and move and remove her from the Wayne Township Zoning Commission, if you choose.
And that's our resolution 2024-70,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Do we have to ask if there's any proponents or opponents? to
Yes.
this meeting? Well,
Yeah, I would
I'd
say.
say, yeah, it's a public.
yes, right.
So do we have any proponents or any opponents to this public hearing? Seeing none, no one present for it. So,
And the applicant,
applicant's
let
not
the
here.
record that she's not here. I'm not applicant, I'm sorry. Public hearing used to be an applicant. Mary Fromling is not in the audience.
Okay, so then we just need to go ahead and close the public hearing and then make a motion on the resolution. So I want to make a motion to close the public hearing for Mary Fromling at 7:33.
I will second.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Sorry, I didn't know me or you, but, okay, so public hearing is closed. Now we will go, do you guys want to do the resolution right now, or do you want?
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and,
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 2024-70, which is removing Mary Fromling from the Wayne Township Zoning Commission.
and I will second that.
All righty, roll call, Mr. Patrick.
Yes.
Ms. Colvin.
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs.
Yes.
This resolution is passed.
Good, thank you. All right, so next up, we are going to go back to the department head reports. We're going to go back to the fiscal officer's report. Mr. Fitzsimmons.
Still one.
I'll give you a second.
I received my training yesterday for positive pay with LCMB. So we are doing the positive pay, and just as a reminder, that is just, I upload information to their system now, and when I cut checks or send ACHs out, and then when they come in, it has to match, the payee has to match, and the dollar amounts have to match. So therefore, we can't get, they can't change things on us. And so then it gets rejected, and then I have to review it and approve it or reject it. So that way, it just adds a level of additional security. So that's, is working now. In fact, so I cut a check for the former tractor show, and it was CO for Gary Kaufman, who runs it, and he signed it, Gary Kaufman, and that was a rejection today because it was a mismatch. It didn't match, the signature didn't match who was really entitled to. So I had to go in and approve that.
Okay.
So that's, so it's a.
The system works.
The system.
Yeah, that is good.
It's a good deal. I'm tickled with it, for sure.
Yeah, it's another layer of security, that's great.
And then it puts us in line with, I forget what the technical bulletin is that just came out from the state auditor's office, so, that brings us a bit more in line with that as well. So I've had to launch a congressional inquiry, just to let you guys know, in case you guys get questioned. So last year, we filed in 2023 in quarter four, one of our payroll withholdings to the federal government, and filed it appropriately, the correct amount, within the correct time frame, but marked it for quarter three versus quarter four. Well, when I took office, within days of taking office, I get a notice, I got two pieces of mail. I opened up the first one, and it was from the IRS saying that we didn't pay our taxes, and there was penalties and fines associated with that. So I started sweating. And then I opened up the next piece of mail, and it was a refund check for nearly the amount of money that we owed. And so I dug into it. And
Tell me it's not a
I
government.
know,
Yeah.
I know.
so it's that we overpaid in quarter three by accidentally, and it's a pull-down menu that you mark whether port 1, 2, or 3, or 4. And that's all it was, so it got credited to quarter three instead of quarter four where it belongs. Well, I have been on the phone and I have spent hours on hold, literally, I mean, just to talk to him, on average, it's like 2 hours of just wait time. So this last time I talked with him, he says, well, you sent it to the right place and all this and that, because, well, the first conversation I had with them, they say, send everything back to us with a letter and blah, blah, blah. So I do all that, send it to Ogden, Utah, and then in May, I got another letter of us failing to pay our taxes, and then, of course, some additional penalties and taxes on top of that. So I called them again, and so I've been conversation back and forth, and this last meeting I had with them, they said, well, we don't have it, you sent it to technically the correct person or place, but they really should have sent you to this other place, and that there's another form you can fill out, that may end up helping, I'm not 100% sure. So I contacted our congressman's office in Lebanon and filed the paperwork, and so they will do a congressional inquiry, which will force them to talk to us, essentially. And so hopefully they get this cleared up at some point. So they have all the money. It just was coded the wrong period.
You should give it to me, I walked right past the IRS building.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Well, the funny part was, the guy says to me, he says, well, how much you have in the check? Because, of course, everything I had was photocopied, and I think I was shocked him, because everything was good photocopied, and then I mailed it to him. I did it overnight and, certified and all that. So I was telling him stuff that he didn't even know. And so he says, well, how much is the check for? And I told him, I said, well, that didn't exactly match. I said, it's because you guys gave us interest for 151 days on that refund check as well. It's just a hot mess. So hopefully, with the congressman's office will help us, but it's been a process. So, but we're in the middle of that. I revised some of the numbers on the tax budget, so I just tightened it down from what we've received currently and paid out currently to help focus the conversation. I've given that over to Gus, and at some point, I guess we're going to talk more about it. The meter group, I think Gus has sent the investment policy to the prosecutor's office. We haven't heard anything back. I don't even know if it's been assigned yet.
And so I've been signed.
Yeah, so we're still on the hold on that in terms of doing the meter group. We did our training yesterday, or not training, demo yesterday with that document service, and SC strategic. I think it went well. I just wanted to open up maybe that discussion. I brought the resolution with me if we decide to make any decisions. Other than that was all I had, but I wanted to bring that up.
Is that resolution the 2024-61?
Yes.
Okay, that's what, okay.
And you guys did get my, well, about the pipeline setup. I
Yeah.
gave you the numbers, and
Yeah.
so it's about 175,000 is what we're gonna get. So that's good news.
That was 3 years, right? That was 3 years back.
Yeah, that's for a 3-year catch-up, true up, yep.
When does that come in?
Soon?
Okay.
You know, I think they're still, actually, I got the guy who works, he's one of the deputy administrators there. He kind of gave me the numbers, but he was actually waiting for Matt to give him the blessing, so he kind of spilt the tea a little bit for me, and I brought it before you guys, let you guys know that, the good news, I thought, was
It's good news.
some phenomenal news, get a little extra money. And of course, that will bump up everybody, you know, a little bit, you know, nothing crazy, but a little bit in our levies. That's what I have.
So document service that we talked about before on stuff like that, and I know we were I was trying to listen, I ended up getting sidetracked with some things at work too,
Oh.
you know. But the number of documents that you want to scan, I mean, we're talking about like our minutes and stuff like that, and you're talking about some invoicing and stuff like that, correct? Do you have,
No.
I couldn't remember if we.
Well,
what was our
only,
process?
well, I mean, the first piece I would think is getting our permanent records, and we don't have like a ton of them, but we do,
Yeah.
you know, it's larger payrolls and that kind of stuff, minutes and resolutions, and see where we stand with that. And then beyond that, then I would start looking at, getting this, audit cycle, all done. So everything we would have in this current audit cycle, so all of our bills and all of that would be transitioned. Some of it's electronic already, would be just transitioned over. But that's as far as I was honestly looking, because everything else will cycle out. And I don't really see a need to go backwards, other than the permanent stuff, obviously. But bills from 5 years ago that we have to maintain, but they'll be gone in 2 more years.
Yeah.
There's no sense to do that.
Yeah, I liked your idea of, having them scan in some stuff as a trial or a test, so
Sure.
we can see how it goes, and,
Mhm.
you know, I thought that was a good idea, instead of just going full bore and then we're left with, what do we do with this kind of thing?
Yeah.
Well, like, it's still our data.
Yeah.
We get to keep it, it's still ours, we can get it back and stuff like that, so that is, I did like that too.
The questions that I didn't ask afterward, or I thought of is any sort of, security that they offer, you know, so that we know our data is secure there, that it's not gonna be,
I don't know about physical security, but I know
Well.
it's mirrored sites. I mean, we got multiple data
Yeah.
sites. I
but, you
don't
know, things like, you know, somebody comes in and, one of these foreign actors gets in there and does a ransomware type attack
Oh,
or something, you know, that type of thing.
They're technically public records though, aren't they? I guess.
Yeah, the ones we're
Yeah,
talking
but
about here.
then what if we were 100% counting on that to be there, and then some ransomware attack comes, and then all of a sudden we can't even access our, because now we've gone all digital, and now we can't even get to our stuff anymore for who knows how long. I mean,
Right now,
we didn't really talk, because since they are a smaller company, you know, what type of,
yeah.
what are they doing to protect
Well,
things?
I think it's a good follow-up, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a,
I'll ask you about the ransomware.
Yeah. Do they offer it for them? No, I'm just kidding. But I mean, in security in general, I liked how they have things where you could group people together, you know, people can see different portions of what they're allowed to see, and all that's,
Sure.
you know, 100% customizable. That was good.
Well, it'll be helpful too, if we start rolling it out to the other departments as well, that way, you know, we can use it in more departments and not have to worry about someone seeing something they shouldn't, because you're gonna be able to segregate them, you know, which would be nice. So we can use it a lot more than what we were initially intending.
I don't care if any more questions on it,
You know, so along the lines of, you know, the data and keeping the data safe, you know, we have a responsibility of the ORC to maintain those records. So are we assigning our, I suppose that is one thing, it kind of makes me feel a little weird inside, is that, you know, we're responsible for something that we're contracting out to a third party.
Sure.
You know, I love the digitization, I love everything about it, I love the cost savings that ultimately comes, the easier audits, and, you know, everything I think makes sense with it, but the security piece, I guess, is more,
I can ask more about security.
So you're still gonna have a hard copy of the minutes, the resolutions,
Well,
right?
we may not.
Well, probably going forward, you would, I mean, we could keep what we have, but going forward, you would probably
You-
need 100%.
you know, for Scott, for example, you know, if he has a bill that comes in and it's electronic, you know, right now, he's printing it out and, you know, going through all these hoops and loops to then put it back in, and, you know, at this point, with this system, it would be removing a lot of the man hours that are required to create a paper trail that's already there digitally. The issue is that if, you know, things were then click, click, okay, cool, it's done, and it's the only copy of that, you know, I understand redundancy and everything else, and, you know, certainly, I'm sure they're doing backups on the daily at a separate site where things are completely, you know, disconnected. Due diligence wise, we should probably just ask that question to make sure that we get the warm and fuzzies.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, like she also said too, I think they service, what, 900, government clients,
Yeah.
anywhere from NASA to some small village, a lot of school districts and other townships, as well.
Yeah, I'm sure we're not the first to ask a question like that.
Sure,
Just,
no, I'll,
yeah.
yeah, I'll ask her.
Well, we also gonna talk about, record retention policy, some of our details have to go in there a little bit more with that.
Sure.
Data, we'll have to have our policies, internal policies as well.
Right, yeah, we're gonna have to update those.
Oh, yeah.
And that'll be a process.
But you think that once that is digitized, my goodness, it's, you no longer are sorting through things or.
Oh, it's a quick reference.
Yeah,
point.
I mean, you're not paying to have documents destroyed.
Right.
Well, I mean, even she showed, like, as an example, she typed in someone's name and it pulled it up on different minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The fulfilling public records request, you know,
Right.
because, you know, the CR, exactly, it's,
They have one, yeah, OCR.
I think, all around it makes a lot of sense, and, you know, to me, I expect from my government that they are performing, well, at least in an ideal world, that they are as good as what private industry is doing so far as, you know, technology, so far as efficiency, and, you know, trying to keep up with things that are out there, and, you know, not using typewriters and everyone else is on smartphones. To me, it makes a lot of sense, you know, I understand there's a cost that's involved, but I think there are a lot of intangibles, and a lot of benefits, and frankly, probably hedges us off from having to hire somebody to help Scott with, you know, knowing as many times I drove by here at 5:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock, and seeing Daryl's car here, and Gus.
Yeah, that was the other part of it too, is just, it kind of kicks that can down the road about hiring an assistant. Cause it does, you know, it just makes a lot of things flow a lot easier on land, you know.
We
Yeah.
agree.
So if we can,
Get the warm and fuzzies on those answers.
Sure.
Yeah, okay, so do.
next time, ask me next time.
You guys have any more questions or anything? Scott, you have anything else?
That's it.
Good, okay,
Yep.
thank you, I appreciate that. All right, back to old business, going down through, let's see, we The website talked about tree replacement already, 165 Miami Street. Anything there, anything more, just hold on. Okay.
Dumpsters.
Anybody else have anything?
I did check with the school, and they had that on their radar. They were thinking about it right before I emailed them, so they said they were going to send 2 or 3 guys down there and assess the situation. Scott went and took some pictures today, he sent me pictures. There's basically some kitchen equipment and filing cabinets.
Okay.
Okay.
So it's not a lot, but it's something that they gotta find, place to do it,
Okay, good job.
or to dispose of it. So
Right.
it may end up, they may decide to dispose of the kitchen equipment like we do or whatever, and may end up with one of our good deal stuff.
That's good. All right, on to new business. Any questions, concerns with the bills?
I had none.
No?
I have none as well. Legislation. We're going to go to resolution 2024-69. This is a resolution to approve entering into a master service agreement with LEXIPOL LLC for the fire department policy management and training modules. I will make a motion to approve resolution 2024-69.
I will second.
Alrighty, roll call vote, Ms. Colvin,
Yes.
Mr. Jacobs?
Yes,
Mr. Patrick?
Yes.
Alright, motion is carried.
here we go. Off and running. All right, no more resolutions. We have any other new business that's not on the agenda?
I had none.
I don't think I had any either. Okay. Correspondence.
Then,
Okay.
Scott's not paying attention.
I
So
am.
from him.
I do not have
Julie.
mail.
Yeah, I like that. We have any elected officials' comments?
Look forward to the parade.
Yeah, before the parade. Hopefully we make it through this week of hot weather. I know it's 94, 95, we're gonna reach a record, is what they're talking about now, so.
Thank you, lineman.
Don't believe everything they say.
60%
Well, I was
of the
researching that
time they're right
I'm-
every time.
That's it. There's a reason why they call them weather guessers. So,
Well, at least right 50% of the time, I guess. So,
I'm banking on.
So as far as the parade goes,
yes.
not you,
Not me.
not you, just you.
I'm not one for fanfare.
You, okay. And that's on the 29th, right?
yes,
At what, 11, I think it starts?
line up, the parade starts at noon.
I'm in.
Got an expedition.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, maybe. That'd be good. Do we need to make, poster signs?
Yeah,
or
we're gonna have
anything?
to.
Does it go woo-woo?
Okay, I need to see and then.
Gus, where are they starting that at?
Receiving it.
Do you know?
It's cricket. Yeah.
Usually stage down at.
I'll have to send in a thing to the parade chairman, they'll give you a location, give me a location, but we're likely up on, Quaker Heights on High Street.
Okay, that's normal usually. Yeah, okay, very good. At 1200.
Is the start of the parade, lineup is, you'd be either signed 10 o'clock, 10:30, or 11 o'clock.
So we want to close the meeting down and then do work session? Okay, let's go ahead and close the meeting, our Township Board of Trustees meeting here at 7:54.
I'll second the motion.
Yeah.
All right, all in favor for adjournment?
I.
Aye.
All right,